one of, if not the best, First Amendment auditor, Bay Area Transparency, recently was auditing the California Land Commission. At the Land Commission, police were called after he tried filing a formal request for everything that happened there. Officer Flores was called, and Flores then proceeded to violate the First and Fourth Amendment.
Well, I mean, he was arguing whether I could be here, but I was just asking questions. Okay. I've just requested public records, and they're just ignoring me to do my public records request, which I have a right to do under the penal code. So.
All right. So, sir, what it is this is actually supposed to be a secured building, and unfortunately, that lock is not working. So, you aren't supposed to be here. If you are supposed to be here,
That's not true.
okay, hold up. I'm not done talking.
Go ahead. You're just wrong.
No, okay.
I have on camera them buzzing me in. I didn't even open the door.
Okay, that's
They
fine.
buzzed me in, so I'm
Okay.
allowed to be here. And he's also said and just told you this is a public area. So.
No. So,
Yeah.
again, the door was supposed to be locked. It's meant to be locked. Okay?
I pushed the
Hold up.
button on camera
Okay.
and they buzzed me in. Locked or not, they
So you need
allowed
to
me in
also
the
have-
building.
Okay, you also need to have an appointment.
That's not true.
Okay,
I
and
can
you need
ask.
to sign in. So
That's
if
not
you-
true either. That's not a law.
This is their
But it's not a
protocol.
law.
So what they want to do now is, if you don't want to leave, it's going to be trespassing.
I suggest you look up 602 OML and I, because it says clearly in there, and I'm just going to help you out real quick.
I don't care.
You can't
No,
violate
no,
my
I don't
rights.
care.
My
Of course he doesn't care. He's a corrupt cop.
constitutional
I'm gonna
rights
give
for
you-
trespassing.
I'm going to give you the option to leave, or
Let me
I
get your
arrest
sergeant. Sergeant.
you. Okay.
Yeah, if you're going to arrest me, I'll leave, but where's your sergeant? Let's get your
I'm gonna
sergeant
put
out here.
I will. I need to
Okay.
put your handcuffs for safety.
For what?
my safety.
I just said, you
Okay.
can't put me in here. What am I
Handcuffs.
being detained for? What law did I break right now?
602. Remember?
I just said I'll leave, but let's get your sergeant.
Okay. Can we leave outside then? Can we leave outside?
Yeah, get your sergeant.
Let's go.
You're fucking. Okay, Bay fam, let's stop that right there, man. There's a lot to break down right here. So this cop clearly said, when I was trying to tell him the facts, I don't want to hear it, I don't care, you're going to leave or I'm going to arrest you, right? He just wanted me to say, how high, when he told me to jump. And that's not the way it works. He doesn't have any authority over me. Now, on top of that, he's also supposed to investigate both sides. And if he would have asked me, I would have told him, they buzzed me in. This guy said it's a public office. I don't have to sign in. We could have had a conversation, but clearly he just wanted me to obey because Officer Flores here thinks he's our master. He's actually a disgrace to that uniform and a disgrace to his ethnicity and his people, and that's my opinion. Typically, I don't leave offices I know I can be in, but since Ron was back there calling it a secured area, I said this is a gray area, and this video's also been pretty short at this point. Let me go ahead and go out, just ask for a sergeant. If the sergeant don't tune these officers up and Ron up the right way, then I'll go back in and they can arrest me. I could care less at this point, right? Because I know I'm right. But when I said, okay, get your sergeant, I'll leave if you're going to arrest me, but I want your sergeant. And then this cop walks up and says, okay, I need to put you in handcuffs for officer safety. Flores, you don't have a crime at that point. I said I would leave. Trespassing, you have to give the person an opportunity to leave. On top of that, I had not been asked to leave until Flores said something. So I said, I'll go outside. But this idiot officer had it in his mind he was going to violate my rights. Now let me point out, the other officer there has a duty and obligation to the Constitution to not allow this idiot to violate my rights like he did. And let's keep watching, because it gets worse after this. No, I'll just let you know that. But
nice.
you're completely wrong.
Let's go.
Okay. Cool. There you go. I'm outside, Sergeant.
I requested it.
Cool. Yeah, you're an idiot. What's your name and badge number?
Officer Flores.
So first off, look at 602. 602 clearly says you can't use Penal Code 602 to violate somebody's constitutional rights. It's written into 602. And it's written into the only subsection that would apply right here. Signing in is not a law. They can't force me to sign in. They allowed me in, and I have every right to request public records like I have. So you, sir, are a fucking moron, and you need to
Why
learn
are
how
you
to do your
cussing at
job.
me?
Because you're an idiot. You just violated my rights.
No, why are
And you
cussing-
touched me. I didn't touch you.
Why are you cussing at me?
Because you just violated my rights and you touched me. Did I touch you?
Why are you
Did I
cussing?
touch? I just told you. You violated my rights and you touched me. Did I cuss at him? No. He didn't violate my rights. He didn't touch me. But you did.
Okay, I'm gonna detain
Right?
you and put you in handcuffs now.
For what law?
I'm just detaining you.
You can't. For what law?
Being officially detained because Bay Area said a word that Flores didn't like very much.
It's called reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime. You can't detain
I'm
me
going
just
to detain
because. For what law?
I'm gonna put you in handcuffs for
Sir,
my safety.
what law? No. You have
my
to
safety.
detain me. You can detain me in cuffs for your safety, but you have
said
to
it.
have
You just said
reasonable
it.
suspicion
You
of a
just said
crime.
it. Go ahead,
Look at
put it
this
down.
dude.
Go ahead.
Look at this dude violating the shit out of my rights.
Can you drop it
Look
in?
at him.
Put it down. No, just
I'm not gonna
relax.
drop
I'll
it or
hold
anything
it.
like
We're
that.
not gonna. I need to put your hands behind your back.
You better tell this guy he can't do this. What crime have I committed? He can't detain me unless you have reasonable suspicion of a crime.
on.
I left out of the office. Where's
I'm
the
gonna
what
detain you.
crime?
I'm
For
going
what
to-
crime?
I'm putting
For
you in
what
handcuffs.
crime?
For my safety.
What crime?
For my
You have
safety.
to have a crime, sir.
For my safety.
For what crime, sir?
So let's go ahead and drop the camera.
Oh, here.
Hold it. There you go.
Hold on.
There
Let
you
me let my wrist go and get it off my
Oh,
wrist.
sorry.
What do you think? I'm gonna hurt you? I know you're a little guy, but you're fucking. I'm not gonna do nothing to you. Dumb. Now I'm being detained right now, ladies and gentlemen. No crime, just for his safety, even though there's no crime. This guy doesn't understand how RAS works. You can't detain somebody for your safety just because you're talking to him. You have to have a reasonable suspicion of a crime. There is no reasonable suspicion of a crime. There's not even reasonable suspicion of trespassing, even if I stayed in there. And I could have easily let this dumbass young officer arrest me and then sued him later, but I choose not to do that.
Let's go down to my car so that way my recording also records.
I'm not interested.
Okay. Well, I like to. So come
Okay,
on.
well,
Let's go.
what am I being detained for?
Come on.
What
My
am I
safety.
being detained for?
My safety.
Your safety is not a crime, bud.
safety
You're
is
right
not a
now.
crime.
This
You're
is
right.
kidnapping at this point.
All right, let's go. Come on.
I'm not gonna just move like that. So I need your sergeant, and you don't
He's
get to
watching
detain me.
He's coming.
You don't get to just detain me for your safety.
Come on.
Which way do you want to? You're not going that way? Okay, cool.
Straight.
All right, cool. I'll run with it. This guy's a freaking idiot. This is hilarious. So at this point, ladies and gentlemen, I'm being walked down the hallway. I've told them I don't want to move. So now he's moving me from one place to another, which meets the definition of a kidnapping beyond my will. He doesn't have me detained. He said for his safety, but he has to have a crime to detain me. Reasonable suspicion of a crime. He doesn't have one. Excuse me, I'm not going to depend on you. I'm going to lean on this.
That's fine.
I have little issues with my back here, so
What happened to your back?
I'm not going to tell you that.
That's okay. Well, I hope it gets better, whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, I hope you get educated. Because right now you are literally, I could do nothing and sue you at this point.
That's nice.
You have detained me for no crime. You've said it on camera. There was no trespassing because that's an open state office. And I have the dude on camera telling me, no, this is public. You can be here, but you have to sign in. Da-da-da-da. The door is open. Whether they say you usually need an appointment, the door is wide open. Not only that, but they buzzed me in, which I don't think you get. So. What's your name and badge number, other officer?
Officer Ellen Bergson, 23644.
Ellen Bergson 23644. Hey, these are way too tight on my hands, man. It's hurting.
Okay, we'll fix it.
Yeah, fix them, because this shit hurts.
You got big hands, though.
Well, yeah, I know my hand size, but it hurts. That's why I'm saying something about it.
To be comfortable, but yeah, we'll try to fix
Well,
it.
they're also not meant to torture somebody,
No, you're
right?
Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, I was gonna say that thing's on. If you start pushing on it, it's gonna break my motor. So, yeah, these handcuffs are killing me at this point. So I am now detained. No reasonable suspicion of a crime. I let the idiot know that I would leave if he was gonna arrest me, but he's gonna be in trouble. And he put me in handcuffs for his safety because he thinks anybody he talks to, he can just put him in handcuffs for his safety. But that's not true. They didn't teach you reasonable suspicion at the academy or what? How long you been a highway patrol officer? Now you don't want to answer nothing. That's all right. They also just let's be clear too. They've also seized my camera at this point, and they just violated my Fourth Amendment, right? Like a mother. seized my camera, took my equipment, have me in handcuffs, standing outside, moved me from one place to another. This guy literally violated my rights like 7 different ways at this point.
The sergeant say he's heading over? Okay.
There we go. So when you investigate, you're supposed to get 2 sides of the story, not just come out and tell somebody they have to leave because other state workers and you're on their side. Don't worry, we'll teach you. It's all good. Very clear, I invoke all my rights. Especially my 4th Amendment. I don't consent to any searches or seizures, which you guys have already done. So why do you think you can trespass somebody from public property? Do you know that you can't do that? Huh? Talking to you, Flores. Trespass from public property, you think that that's legal? That you can do that? Better look up 602, bud. Can you give me the call number for this, by the way? CAD number? Cool. You guys don't have body cams?
Yeah, brief me about it.
Is your, maybe I was wrong. Is your dash cam on?
Yeah, we came down here.
So no transparency with the CHP out here, huh? Interesting.
Told you that when we walked down here.
That you don't have body cams?
No, that I wanted to walk down to my patrol car so we could have
I
my
agree.
camera on.
Yeah, you said that, but you guys should have body cams. Every other CHP office does. Well, I mean, obviously not everyone, but it's in the budget. You guys should have them.
Well, clearly Flores is corrupt, and I encourage all of you to watch the original video, have it linked in the description, and I encourage all of you to subscribe to me and Bay Area Transparency. Bay Area was only put in cuffs for contempt of cop ego. Have a good afternoon.